What it is, what it do, cyber world. It is your girl, the one, the only Ash Said It. AshSaidIt.com, AshSaidIt.com. Welcome to the Ash Said It Daily Podcast Show. I appreciate you guys for all of your love and support. Over 1,400 episodes and 500,000 streams worldwide. None of this would be possible without you guys, so I thank you so very much. And yes, we're still living a bit of a quarantine life, we're dealing with some COVID-19 stuff. But that doesn't mean that you can't still be healthy, all right? You can't still find those options that are good. So I've got a really awesome lady with me today of the world of vegan, the wonderful Michelle. Hey, Michelle.
Yeah?
How are you doing today?
Good. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Thank you so much for joining us. So, Michelle, let us know, what part of the country are you holding down right now?
I'm holding down Sacramento, California.
Sacramento. Okay, cool. All right, so Michelle, so before World of Vegan, before this awesome new cookbook that you got with your buddy, Miss Toni, what was your journey to vegan like?
My journey started way back, pretty much when I was 8 years old, and I made the connection between the lamb I was eating on my plate and my friend the lamb. My mom made some offhanded comment, like, "Hey, Michelle, we're eating lamb for dinner tonight, and we just watched a movie about a lamb." And I was a little slow on the uptake. I think it took me till I was 8 years old to realize that meat is not just named after animals, but is animals. So in that moment, I was like, I don't want to hurt animals. I don't want my food choices to cause anyone to have to die. And so I'm not going to eat this meat stuff anymore. And my mom looked at me and was like, okay, that's actually called vegetarian, Michelle. And I'm sure she didn't think it would last long. I was just 8. But ever since that day, I had become vegetarian because I loved animals.
Yeah.
And then, later in college, and as I learned more about the dairy industry and egg industries, as someone who just cares a lot about the suffering of others, I realized I did not want to participate in any of that anymore, and I became vegan.
Wow. So how did World of Vegan come about?
World of Vegan is a website that I started about 6 years ago now. Mm-hmm. I've actually been creating content in the vegan space for more than 10 years now. Mm-hmm. When I went vegan, I was in college. I was living in Cleveland, Ohio, and there were slim pickings. We did not have this world of like tons of vegan cheese and vegan everything all around. And it felt like sort of a lonely journey as I was trying to learn how to eat in this completely different way than how I grew up eating. Yeah. And so I wanted to create resources that could help make that transition and that journey for other people, especially people who were living in areas where it just wasn't very accessible or normal, or they felt like they didn't have a friend. I wanted to be that resource for people, so I started making videos on YouTube, and I did that all sort of on the side as just a passion project on the side, and then eventually started spending my full-time efforts with World of Vegan.
That is too cool. And it's always astonishing to me, like, how people can take, like, these passion projects and, you pour so much of your heart and soul into it, and you're like, I'm doing it because I like it, I enjoy it, and then it turns around and that becomes your paycheck. So that's an amazing jump.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing, and honestly, looking back, I mean, I have so many words to share with anyone who cares about anything in their life. It's like, just do the things you love and care about, and be a really giving person, because the only way I was able to make that transition work and like pay the bills as I was trying to do this full time is because I had volunteered so much of my time and like really lent a hand to others over the many years before, and then somehow that started coming back to me as I was trying to make it on my own. And so I'm so grateful for those opportunities, and the more you give, the more you receive. It's just it works out like that in the world.
Absolutely. So you've been on this vegan journey for some time. You definitely been, like you said, from age 8 on up till now. So how do you manage sometimes with staying vegan? Because I could imagine, like, sometimes, like you said, you may go to stores or whatever where there aren't a lot of options. Like nowadays, it's like it's second nature to where it's totally considered with most major cities, I'll say. There's some kind of options for people that have certain certain diets. But back in the day, 10, 20 years ago, there were not a whole bunch of options for people that were vegan. So how did you stay afloat with your lifestyle?
It's a lot like riding a bike. In the beginning, it is hard. I'm not going to lie. I had been eating a certain way with tons of cheese and tons of milk and everything for so many years that when overnight I decided I wanted to eat in a completely different way and take animals and animal products off my plate completely. And I hadn't done any of the research, any of the reading. There weren't documentaries out at that time. I was sort of floundering. But I just made it work, with a lot of repetitive meals and whatnot. But pretty quickly I started to dive into recipes, find blogs online that I loved, connect with other people who were proving that it's possible to eat delicious food and be plant-based. And pretty quickly I started realizing, okay, this doesn't actually have to be a sacrifice at all. I can be eating food that's just as delicious. And actually I eat a way bigger variety of foods now than I ever did when I was vegetarian. Or even pre-vegetarian. And so on the other side of that hump, that learning hump, which is still a fun adventure, it now is easy. It's second nature. No part of me misses anything I can eat. For lunch today, I had macaroni and cheese. It was made from plants instead of animals.
Awesome. I've been meaning to try that stuff too, because I have been, I had gotten Toni, your buddy, I had her a couple months on my show. And she sent me her cookbook, and I've been I've been teetering with stuff, and I was like, okay, it's not impossible. It does take effort. It's definitely not impossible. And so I've been slowly kind of teetering towards, I've been vegetarian for over a decade now. And that's been awesome. I just feel a lot different, a lot better without eating meat products. However, I still have some dairy in my diet. I'm not going to lie. Got some dairy, got a little cheese here and there.
That's the hard one.
That's the one that, it's just, I've even gone on to like just egg. I love it. It's easy. It scrambles just like a real egg. Like I'm eating, I'm like, I can't believe this is not real egg. I can't believe this is not real egg. But,
it is, it's mind blowing.
It absolutely is. But so as you're going through this journey, and now we're on the heels of like the holidays, family gatherings, that hopefully we'll get together soon with like real people and not on a meetup or a Zoom. But how do you plan to take things to your family members or your friends' houses that are non-vegan?
That is a big reason why we wrote the Friendly Vegan Cookbook, actually, because Toni and I over the years have found that it is, food can be sort of a point of contention when you're doing something differently than the norm. And especially over the holidays, you don't want to make anyone feel inconvenienced. And you also don't want to be the different one at the table. But it just can be a lot. So we wanted to make sure that people had recipes that they can turn to that are just as delicious as what everyone else is eating. It's familiar. We have recipes like an eggnog, mac and cheese, green bean casserole. I actually just made our green bean casserole yesterday, even though it is nowhere near the holidays. Stuffing, mashed potatoes, gravy, pumpkin chocolate pie. We have all of these recipes that are perfect for the holidays that if you don't tell anyone they're vegan, they're not even going to know. Wow. So that's a big reason why we wrote this book, and we want to make sure that people feel, food is such a beautiful opportunity to connect and just share with friends and family, and we hope that this will be a resource that helps bring people together rather than separate them. It's by no means you're vegan or you're not vegan, although, I guess some people can think of it like that, but even just trying a recipe or trying a dish that someone brings that happens to be vegan, little steps like that are really impactful, and we're big proponents of sort of, just bringing the friendliness between all different types of eaters.
Wow, yeah. So the book is titled The Friendly Vegan Cookbook, 100 Essential Recipes to Share with Vegans and Omnivores, alike. And so how did you guys come up with the name?
The Friendly Vegan Cookbook came from, well, first of all, Toni and I are dear friends. She's one of my closest friends. So we had that element shared, but we wanted to create a resource that really highlighted this is for everyone. It's not this exclusive club. It's not for people who are just eating like chia seeds and fruit. It's just, this is about, bringing people together, meeting where we're at, and celebrating delicious food. And that has been something that we've seen get a little bit lost sometimes in the vegan space. It can seem very othering, like, oh, that's a vegan person. I don't identify as vegan, so I don't even want to try that food, or that food is very different from the food that I eat, or that the ingredients of that food are really expensive. That's really not for me and my family. We wanted to crush all of those sort of barriers that get in between people making different food choices and bring them together as friends over delicious food.
Gotcha. Okay. Last but certainly not least question I'm going to ask you. All right. Becoming vegan and preparing vegan meals, it can be time consuming. All right. I'm talking about the food prep. So give me a tip or two on how to not be completely overwhelmed with food prepping for a vegan meal.
First, I would say, instead of thinking, I'm going to go vegan this week, I need all of my meals to be vegan, and that's feeling really overwhelming, I would start with one recipe, because anyone can say, okay, I'm going to carve out, even if it's a more in-depth recipe or a really simple recipe, however you're feeling and whatever time you have, just start with one thing to try. And then there's a lot of tips for if you are meal planning or trying to batch cook for the week, or just trying to condense your time in the kitchen, like pressure cookers, like Instant Pots. They're extremely popular right now. Toni and I use ours all the time, and it cuts the time to cook something like rice or beans in half on average. And so that'll make your cooking time a lot faster in the kitchen, but also don't be afraid to lean on things like canned beans. A vegan meal does not have to take a lot of time in the kitchen. It can be as simple as whipping up a smoothie or grabbing a tortilla and putting some rice and canned refried beans and avocado on there. You can whip up a delicious, hearty vegan meal in 5 minutes or less.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's a good... Wow. See, Michelle, you've just opened up my mind a little bit more. You and Toni, you're going to convert me. I know it. I feel it. It's coming. But
I love it. Well, yeah.
Guys.
And it's so simple. Like, it's from going from vegetarian to vegan too. If you're not thinking about it as an all or nothing thing, even just small swaps, like swapping your cow's milk for something like soy milk or almond milk or cashew milk or flax milk or coconut, any of the many plant milks out there, that's like actually taking the vast majority of dairy out of your diet, and it's just one swap,
Yeah.
So there's easy things that you can do like that anyone can integrate, and so many people are, even if they're not going all the way vegan. That's a great step in the direction, and we hope that the Friendly Vegan Cookbook will give an opportunity too for people who aren't at all plant-based or vegan to just dip their toes in and give some recipes a try.
Definitely. Michelle, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you so much. Let everyone know where they can get a copy of the Friendly Vegan Cookbook.
You can find the Friendly Vegan Cookbook at friendlyvegancookbook.com. It's now available for pre-order. We have some fun pre-order bonuses for you guys, and we hope to see you there and in the book. And it's available on Amazon or anywhere else cookbooks are sold.
Yes, and let everyone know the best way to follow you and your website as well.
My website is worldsofvegan.com. I'm also on Instagram. It's just at vegan. So that's the main one. And then you can also check out my co-author, Toni Okamoto. She runs the blog Plant-Based on a Budget.
All right. Good going, Michelle. Much more success, 2020 and beyond. Of course, 2021 is going to be way better. We're claiming that. We're putting that out to the universe.
So.
We are claiming that, girlie. That's the kind of energy that we're claiming. And I want to thank each and every one of you guys for all of your love and support. Keeping in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do, you look them square in the face, you tell them, don't believe me, just watch. Watch what I do, watch me make it happen, watch me make history. That's what we're doing this for, the history books. Social media is nice, but real life is so much better. Until next time, you guys.